Hey everybody, welcome back to our neck of the woods. So this video is a little bit different. I'm just posting this because I think I was about to make a huge mistake and I want to go over that real quick before anyone else really sees any of the past videos and thinking that that's an okay method. Which I usually have a problem with. The more I learn along the way, things get modified, changed up, and we have made mistakes in the past and we want to rectify those before we get any further and something bad may potentially actually happen. So what I'm talking about today is I've mentioned in the past couple videos that we want to go ahead and spray foam the drywall ceiling on the inside up in the attic so that way we air seal. We're not really spray foaming for any insulation value, it's just for air sealing. And what I've done up to this point is probably like maybe 80% air sealed. I've said before it's like 100%, but really, the drywall where it comes together along the 4-foot sections, I have spray foamed those, but we haven't spray foamed any of the drywall where the long sections come together, and that's where the furring strip is. So it's not like just because you screw 2 pieces of drywall to a furring strip, that's 100% air sealed on each side, where obviously it can get up into the crack, go underneath of the furring strip, and then it's up into the attic or where every single screw is. So because of that, I wanted to spray foam the drywall and make sure that it is 100% air sealed. However, the more you start to learn and research, I came across the video from an experienced spray foamer, and he basically stated that you can't really spray foam the top of the drywall, especially with cathedral ceilings or scissor trusses, because even for me, not being that big of a guy, where the roof of the house is and the top of the drywall are on those ceilings, that last 2 or 3 feet in there gets less than a foot. So that's hard for me to even get down in there and then try and spray foam where the top plate is and the bird blocking is. And we're also dealing with trying to get spray foam around the top of the drywall and get down into this channel right here where spray foam would need to go. And I did go ahead, and that is my spray foam up in this direction, sealing the drywall to that top plate. But to get down there actually in from up top, I think is going to be very difficult. It's very hard for somebody to do. Not to mention, closed cell spray foam doesn't expand that much, so it's not a good spray foam to actually try and hit around corners or places that you can't directly spray on top of because it doesn't expand that much. It only expands about 25% of its liquid volume, as opposed to open cell spray foam. You can kind of spray around corners because it expands at like 120% its liquid volume. So you can kind of blind shoot it into areas and don't worry about it because it's just going to completely explode out and blow up and fill that cavity space. So even for a skinny guy like me, I think it'd be very hard to do on all of the scissor trusses or cathedral ceiling parts. So I think we're going to be paying like $3,000 to have all that done, and it's not going to be done that well. And 1/3 of our ceiling does have to do with the cathedral ceiling. So I just don't think that we're really going to get into those spots and hit it good enough. So we might as well save the money and just kind of do alternative measures. Another thing I came across in the video was that closed cell spray foam, as it is kind of a structural element, when it hardens, it gets very stiff. It bonds very rigidly to components. Therefore, it helps with racking and movement and everything. The problem why that is scary on my drywall as opposed to you or anyone else is because since we use those furring strips, if you've got your bottom cords of your trusses, so 3.5 inches of lumber, and you put a piece of drywall directly on top of it, you're really only spraying right in there. Now, I have seen people in the past with horror stories that spray foam was done incorrectly, bad temperatures, humidity, etc. And even in between 2 bottom cord trusses, the actual drywall in this area actually like bowed down, or one guy's actually got sucked up. So you could see every single truss, and even though we had 5/8 drywall, the closed cell kind of like shrunk up and the drywall actually got arched. Now imagine screwing up that much ceiling drywall and us just being screwed. So that really has me scared to try and spray foam that and have anything like that happen, especially because we use the furring strips. We've got a 5/8 inch gap under every single bottom cord, where in between two furring strips, that spray foam is gonna try and go underneath of all of the gaps in the top cord where the furring strips, again, have the drywall spaced out. Imagine if that closed cell expands too much, pushes on the bottom of the bottom cord truss and pushes the drywall down. We're gonna have all these like million humps everywhere, and that just has me completely terrified. There's a lot more reasons why you shouldn't do it, but for us to only be doing it for air sealing and not really caring about insulation value, I think it's probably a potential waste of about $3,000, not to mention how much trouble we could possibly be in if this goes wrong. So I think I am going to scrap the idea of spraying in closed cell spray foam and just doing the 18 inches of blown in cellulose. Is it gonna be 100% air sealed? No, we'll do as best as we can to find those gaps and holes with the can spray foam and just kind of hopefully seal everything up. Then of course, we're really relying on the mudding and taping of the drywall to help with that air movement, which I don't know how much air actually can move through drywall. I would imagine if I build a box of drywall, I'd probably suffocate to death pretty quickly. Even though my vapor may be able to still perfuse out through, which is why you need a vapor barrier, vapor retarder, you know, on walls or in ceilings on cold climate locations. But there is a way around that I think we could get away with. But as again, for just the overall air sealing and breathing in and out, I really think the taping and mudding and the drywall itself is just going to provide that for us. And the way that we can help with the vapor barrier is they do make vapor paints. So we may have to spend a little bit more money in a vapor paint over a regular inside house paint, but I think there are certified paints out there which can classify as a class 2 vapor retarder. So that will help our sealing. That should also, you know, the more layers of paint you put on that too, that will obviously also help with air movement. Because if you've ever painted something inappropriately and it wants to peel off, it kind of like peels off as a sheet of vinyl. And I guarantee that would suffocate you if you were, you know, surrounded in a paint bubble. So I think that's the new route that we're gonna take. And again, I just wanted to make this video for you guys because I think we're avoiding a possible catastrophe. Again, on if it fails, if it blows and moves our drywall everywhere. And I think our blower door score is still going to be super amazing because we have an ICF house, because I did take that extra time with the can spray foam and all of the corners and pieces that I can see butted up next to each other. And I think overall, I think we've done a good job. It's definitely going to be better than your average house out there, which code says you have to have a blower door score of under like 3 air exchanges an hour. So that's the total cubic volume of the house. In 1 hour, it would completely suck in new air from outside through any holes you would have, you know, going through your sheathing or up through your attic space. And it would completely refill its entire cavity within 1 hour. But that would be a 1 ACH. A 3 ACH for your average house per code, you have to be under that. That means that you would be completely replacing your air volume 3 times over in 1 hour. So do I think we'll be under 3? Yes. Our walls are probably already attributing to that because they're ICF and solid concrete. I know we've gone further into air sealing with everything, with the spray foam around all of our windows and doors. the caulking that we put on the outside of our windows and doors, plus the caulking on the inside of the windows and doors. So I think overall, we're going to be 100% okay. It just may not be a blower door score that's like Passive House, where it's under like a 0.6 ACH. So that's really all I wanted to talk to you guys about today, and just show you before, again, I make a mistake or you make a mistake. I'm sure there's spray foamers out there that will be agreeing with me in this video, and that's why they always want to spray the roof decking, and we won't get into that, but I know I want a vented attic, and I just want to probably at this point seal what we can, do our blown-in cellulose. We'll have a blower door score guy come out here, and we'll get that value for you sometime. We just need to make sure that we get these windows and that last sliding glass door in before we actually do that. But that's really all I wanted to say. And let me know down in the comments if you guys agree or not, or if you think this was a good move. We saved $3,000 and potentially even more in my time and labor. The fact that I don't have to be fixing drywall that could potentially be overall completely damaged and destroyed.